The Louisiana Purchase was acquired by the United States in 1803, purchased by Thomas Jefferson, the president, from Napoleon Bonaparte of France. This was one of the largest transactions in the world, with 828,000 square miles for $15 million going to the U.S. That is approximately 4 cents per acre. This over then doubled the size of America. The purchase of land was bigger than present-day France, Spain, Italy, Germany, Portugal, British Isles, Holland, and Switzerland combined. The purchase consisted of the parts of present-day states Missouri, Kansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, Minnesota, Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado. The land purchased was rich of nutrients and had ample amounts of gold and silver. This new amount of acquired land allowed farmers to space out from one another, while also giving them more land and better farming soil for cheap prices. This purchase also helped to improve American wealth through trade with other countries and more produce to be sold internally. It also helped the U.S. become a world influence because of the new growth of the country, giving it the world power we now see today. Thomas Jefferson became president in 1800 with the political group called the Democratic Republicans, or also the Jeffersonians. One major belief of this party was the idea of strict construction. Strict construction means to follow the rules of the Constitution, word for word, no ifs, ands, or buts. However, the first time Jefferson used loose construction, or to imply what the Constitution says, was when he purchased the territory. Loose construction was used by the Whig Party, led by John Adams and Alexander Hamilton, who used this idea to create the first bank of the United States. The Constitution did not directly give the president the right to purchase land for expansion. So instead, Thomas Jefferson sent the proposition to the Senate, who then approved the purchase for him. This is the first time in history we see the shift in Democratic Republicans' belief in strict versus loose construction of the Constitution. This starting a trend for all later presidents, such as Abraham Lincoln and Theodore Roosevelt. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark were chosen by Thomas Jefferson in 1804 to explore the newly acquired frontier to see if there's a connection from the Missouri River to the Pacific Ocean and strengthen the claims to the wanted Oregon Territory, all while recording their findings from the land for science. Lewis and Clark were able to create the first detailed map of the West. They were able to create latitude and longitude maps with every significant landmarks we know today, such as Fort Clatsop. Both Lewis and Clark kept intricate journals explaining their findings and discoveries nearly every day.
October 25th, 1804. Several Indians visit us this evening. The son of the late great chief of the Mandans, who had two of his fingers off and appeared to be pierced in many places. It was a testimony of their grief for deceased friends, a mark of savage affection. October 26th. Many men, women, and children flocked down to see us. Captain Lewis walked to the village with the chief and interpreters. My rheumatism, increasing, prevented me from going also.
These journals were a great first-hand witness of everything that occurred throughout the journey and helped in being able to identify landmarks, animals, and Native American tribes in an organized manner of when they were encountered and the story behind it. Lewis and Clark were able to identify over 120 species of animals, those including the bull snake, coyote, white-tailed deer, and the grizzly bear. They were also able to find over 175 different types of plant life, such as the commonly known Pacific blackberry, Oregon ash, and the prairie rose. Along with animal species and plants, Lewis and Clark were able to meet various Native American groups. Some of the more commonly known groups were the Chinook Indians, Omaha Indians, and the Teton Sioux. Because of Thomas Jefferson changing his ideology, he single-handedly created the country we know today. We now have great trade relations from the amount of produce we can exchange and are now one of the biggest countries per square mile. Lewis and Clark's daring exploration also helped by being able to map out the whole West using latitude and longitude while also discovering literally hundreds of new plants and animals, which helped scientists and citizens have a better understanding of what our great nation holds.